Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Bleu. It is Q&A Tuesday. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just dive on into the questions. But remember, yesterday I was talking about there was just a few things that I need to get off my chest. We're going to start with the first one, okay? So there was a complaint the other day about commercials there were too many commercials being played during my videos that were non-skippable, too many non-skippable ads. Guys, I have no control over the commercials that get played during my videos. I have no say whatsoever, okay? They decide, they make the decision, they play them during the videos, okay? This is a free site. Of course, there's going to be ads, okay? And my viewership has gone up and I really appreciate that, guys. And I'm very thankful. I have more subscribers now and that's really great. I tried to put out content that is always worthy of people's time. I never want to waste anyone's time. I have that philosophy when I'm at work. I have that philosophy when I am talking to my providers or when I'm talking to other coders. Anytime I am spending time with other people in the field, I always want to make sure that I am very conservative with people's time and energy. So I put that energy into these videos as well. So I do have a solution if the ads and things like that are just too much for you and you don't want to deal with them, but you still want to watch me. You can subscribe to YouTube Premium for $11.99 a month, or you can do the audio only for $9.99 a month, or even better, you can join the two other Patreons, which I am very thankful for. The two Patreons that I have, you can join them on Patreon and subscribe for $1 a month. Okay, I do videos. I haven't done videos lately, but I will start getting more on the schedule with Patreon. So that way you can view me there with no commercials, okay? And it's $1 a month, okay? And at least, you know, if it's really bothersome, just those are your solutions, okay? Other than that, I'm sorry. There's really nothing else that I can say or do other than that. All right, so I will continue to put out really good content on a free platform, which I am so thankful for. I will continue to do that, and that's just a price we all have to pay. I mean, when I watch other people's videos, other YouTubers, I don't watch other medical coders' YouTube. I don't. I like to keep my content clean. I do not want to have anybody else in my head. So I do not watch other medical coder YouTube, okay? But I do watch other people, and I'm a fan, just like everybody else. I'm a fan of certain YouTubers, and I will watch. And there are times when I have to sit through commercials as well. So, I mean, what are you going to do? You know, nothing you can do other than it's just a fact of life. But again, I have no control over that. So that's all I can say about that. The next one is, and I'll be leaving the link for my Patreon channel down in the description box below if you want to subscribe. All right, the next one is, what is the CCS? The CCS is offered by the American Health Information Management Association. It stands for the Certified Coding Specialist. This credential is the golden credential of all credentials, in my opinion, okay? And before you say anything about AAPC, I am talking about the CCS with AHIMA because somebody asked me, okay? The CCS means that you can code both inpatient and outpatient. This is a very versatile credential. This is a wonderful credential to have, okay? The CCA is for entry-level beginners, okay? People who are just starting out in the field, no other experience, and they can start with that one. The CCSP is the Certified Coding Specialist Physician-based. That is mostly the outpatient side of the house. If you are coding mostly outpatient, that is a credential for you. But if you want to code both inpatient and outpatient, the CCS is the gold standard of all, okay? So check the AHIMA website at ahima.org if you are interested in going for that credential and see what the education requirements are, and make sure that you are in an NA approved program for that, okay? So next question. How do I get a job if every place asks for 1 to 2 years of experience? Okay, so this was something that I talked about when I was in school, because a lot of people were talking about this, and they were saying, well, everybody wants 1 to 2 years of experience, and how are we supposed to get jobs? The trick is to apply anyway. The thing about it is you want to put out your name every chance you get. Okay, you need to shake as many hands as you can, because you never know what what job connection you're going to be able to make. Okay, and that's the thing with medical coding, especially in the beginning. So you have to shake a lot of hands, and you're going to experience a lot of closed doors in your face. That is the reality. Okay, it is not impossible to get a job in the beginning. It just is going to take some time, and it's going to take some finesse. There's not a lot of places that hire brand new coders sometimes. So you just have to put yourself out there, and you have to be ready for when they are rejecting you, because you will get that a lot in the beginning. Okay. But if you stick with it, you can get a job too. I mean, I got a job, but I had to stick with it too. I looked for 2 months, and I continued to work, all of these physically hard and demanding jobs. So, that's my opinion on that one. Number 4, talk about the dangers of Facebook groups. Okay, so let's get into this. Facebook groups. There's been a lot of email traffic about Facebook groups, and lots of viewers have been in Facebook groups, and there's so many people saying a lot of scary things, like they haven't been able to find jobs, and everybody wants experience, and all of our jobs are being sent overseas, or they're going to do away with coding. There's so many horror things that are out there, and it can scare a person if they don't know about what's going on in the field. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and dispel some of these things. First off, though, take responsibility for who you are listening to. Okay, I am very realistic with you guys. I tell you guys the truth on everything. I tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, I'm not always saying that medical coding is so great. There are days, you've seen me, where I come on here and I sound very frustrated, and then there are times when I am almost in tears, because there are things that are going on in my workplace. This is a thing. You have to be realistic in your expectations and what you expect. If there are people and you're listening to them, and they're not able to find a job, and they're very mad about it, and they're just complaining, and then maybe they were cattle herded through school, and they had to hurry up and get their certification, and now they're just sitting there with no job. Okay, of course that would be frustrating for anybody, but do they know that they should go ahead and apply with a temporary agency? If they say that they want 1 to 2 years experience, are they still applying anyway? That's the thing. You have to be resourceful, and you have to be persistent. That's the thing. And there's so many people that don't want to do that. They think that they can just get in anywhere, and it's going to be quick, and it's going to be easy, because whoever sold them medical coding was telling them this. Okay, I have no dog in this fight other than to be truthful and honest with you guys. That's it. So if you are in one of those Facebook groups, just be careful about who you're listening to, because it can scare you. It can be discouraging, especially when you hear so many people saying the same thing. Come here, watch this video. I hope you guys watch this video. I hope you guys watch my other 200 and something videos that I have, where I talk about different topics, and I talk about, deeper dives into different topics and things like that. I hope you guys watch those. I mean, I know a lot about the field because I've been in it for over 10 years, okay? And there's going to be people that have different attitudes from me, and there's going to be some people that are jaded, and there's going to be people that are like me, that are very enthusiastic, and, they have a very positive attitude. There's going to be a lot of those. So again, it's just going to depend. It's whatever you decide to do in your life. It is the way that you want to approach anything. And this is a challenge. This is a huge challenge. But the rewards of this career are huge. There's so many rewards to this field. Okay? I don't have to have somebody behind me physically supervising me. I don't have to have that. Okay, but it took time to work up to that responsibility. It's a responsibility that I take very seriously. I do things at work that are not the norm for a lot of people, because it's me working creatively and my supervisor knows that I have to have that. So there's that. There is the way that you handle things. You're going to be rejected a lot, and of course it's nice to be able to commiserate with people for a little bit, but then you have to get right back on that horse and keep going. You have to get up the next day and keep applying anywhere and everywhere that you can. Okay? That's the thing. You have to apply yourself. And there's a lot of people that get very discouraged and then they don't want to apply themselves. And oh, this was a scam and I don't want to have to do this. It's not a scam. Okay? And oh, all of our jobs are going to be sent overseas. I'll tell you what, and I said this on another video too. A lot of times when stuff gets sent overseas because for a cheaper rate, right? It has to end up being sent back here because and no offense to people who are overseas, all right? I'm just saying that if your reading comprehension and your understanding of the English language is not stellar, that can lead to problems when you are coding, because cardiac lead and lead poisoning have been confused before. So when you confuse things like that, that's really huge. And then these things add up. So sometimes sending it overseas for a cheaper rate is not going to be too beneficial for the company or for the hospital, because they're going to have to send it back here and have somebody else look over it again and correct all the ones that were wrong. Okay, so paying to have something done cheaply and then having to have it paid to have it done again, it's not a good thing. I'm just saying. So this is why I always tell coders, always apply yourself. Be a very good coder. Be as good as you possibly can be, because that way there is no trying to replace you. Okay, not that anybody would try to be replaced or anything like that. I'm just saying the value of a good coder is there's no, you can't put a value on it. I mean, it's just so high. A coder is responsible for a lot of things. They're responsible for data. They're responsible for RVUs, like when they're coding and when providers get RVUs. If a coder is doing their job correctly, that's going to be a correct snapshot of the RVUs generated by that provider. Revenue comes in, and we are responsible for selecting the correct codes in order for these claims to be paid cleanly, and everything, all the bills to come out right on target. So that's why I say study, continue to learn, and never lose that. Never lose trying to learn and pick up things and applying yourself. That's why I say this all the time, and I will continue to say it too. So, and that's my opinion on that one. For there's so many coders that say, well, I'm just there to collect a check and go home. That's the wrong attitude to have. There is so much, as long as you continue to learn and you can make sure that everybody is getting credit all the way around. That's where you need to be. These things take time. You will learn them more with time, but always be attention to detail. Always look for those detail things, because the devil is in the details. All right. And so that's where all the little things are going to add up. Okay. So that's just my opinion on that one. But yes, be very careful. If you get into one of those groups that it snowballs and everybody's being negative, get yourself out of there. It's not going to do you any good to hear that, okay? Because half of it is the attitude of the person, and the other half of it is just whatever's going on in that particular coder's life or future coder's life, okay? It's however you're going to handle it. So keep away from negative people. There's no good in coming around negative people. Okay, even in the workplace, I've seen it. I knew a lady. She was very negative, constantly negative. I mean, negative. She is literally one of the most negative people I have ever met in my entire life. And everybody that was in the office with her, there was 4 other ladies in the office with her, equally as miserable. But when she was not there, those 4 ladies were very happy and joyful and cheerful, and they never had a sour look on their face. The second that woman came back in that room, or the second she came back to work, again, sour face. So you had 5 women with sour faces. You see how negativity can be contagious? And then they went from being really nice to their providers to being nasty and ugly with their providers. So that's not the way to do things. You have to be consistent with everybody. You have to be consistent all the time. So, they wanted to act tough because that one woman was tough. And to me, it was a waste of time and energy. It's a waste of time and energy to be around people like that. So that's my opinions on that one. Always safeguard who you're around and that energy that's going to come in your space. I am very particular about who I associate with. I I do this for a reason. My energy stays positive because of this. Okay, so that's just what I want to pass on to everybody. You guys got to think about that, because sometimes when you're around these miserable people and they just start rubbing off on you, it is the worst horrible thing ever. You know what I mean? So stay away from negativity, because it's not going to do you any good. Okay, there are some people that are just naturally that way, and that's on them. That doesn't have to be your life. Okay, so stay positive and stay away from negative people. Okay, and if there's a lot of negative talk, get out of there. Just get out of there, because it's not going to do you any good. You need to stay focused. If you are in school, stay focused on your schoolwork. If you are just starting out on a job, stay focused on studying and learning everything about your clinic. Read the guidelines in the CPT book. Read the guidelines in the ICD-10 book. That's where you need to be focusing your energy, not anywhere else. Next question. Should I get certified through both associations as a brand new coder? If you have the option of either or, just start with one. Just start with one, because the more credentials you get, the more continuing education units you have to pay for. Yeah. So it can get quite expensive if you are not, if your employer does not pay for them. So keep that in mind. You guys want to take things one step at a time. If you have the choice of whatever credential you want to go through, look at both associations and what they offer. AHIMA and AAPC both have separate benefits, okay, to their associations, and you need to do your homework on which one you want to do. I get the question a lot, which one is better, which one is more preferred, and things like that. You can look this stuff up in your local area and see what credential they are asking for the most, and you can go that way. I've always said I'm always going to recommend AHIMA because I'm with that association. I know them. I can't recommend something that I don't know. And a lot of people get upset about that. There's nothing that I can do for that, other than the fact that I always welcome you all to check both websites. That's why I always include both association websites on my videos. If I was really so, only this one, then I would only list AHIMA. But I let you guys make the choice for yourselves, because it is your decision. I know fine coders with both associations. I am not so close-minded that I don't see that. Okay, there are good people with both associations. Okay, and there's people that I respect that have both, that are either or. Okay, but if you want to continue to get more credentials, that's wonderful. It's nice when you see alphabet, but if you're not applying yourself, as far as like learning more, that alphabet's not going to really mean anything if you can't apply that knowledge. Okay, so that's just something to think about and consider. Okay, and then next question is cell phone use at work. Get off the phone. I always say this all the time. If you are at work, stay off your phone. Okay, They are paying you to be at work to work. Okay. Oh, well, it's my kids and they're sick. I get it. But your kids are not sick all the time. Okay. It's going to run its course and then that's it. Always be engaged at work. Your phone should be put away. It should be in your purse, down in a desk drawer, or put up somewhere. It is so heartbreaking to see people distracted with their phones all day. And I know that those providers that coder is working on are maybe not getting the full credit because that coder is distracted, but just by being on the phone, looking on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all these other things. You need to be engaged in what you're doing. Okay. And that's just a responsibility that you have to take. And if you have an emergency, it's understandable. But at the same time, you should have that phone put away for those 8 hours that you are working, or 9 hours or 10 hours or whatever your shift is. Okay. Make sure your phone is put away and stay focused on what you're doing and what you're reading. Okay. Because it's easy to miss things if you are distracted. Okay. Number 7, when you are a new coder, will the employer start you with easy charts and then work you up to the harder stuff? No. Nope. You will be given most times, okay, now I'm not saying all the time, but most times you will be given a ramp up period where you have to, maybe it's 30 days, maybe it's 60 days, maybe it's 90 days. You can ramp up to whatever their quota is per day, and then the accuracy and things like that. So those, yes, you would be able to be given time on that. But if you are a brand new coder, they will put you anywhere. And hopefully they know and understand that you're a brand new coder with no experience, but they are going to expect you to know how to code. You don't get training on how to code when you are in your first job. They're going to expect you to know how to code. And do you know why they expect you to know how to code? Because you passed your certification exam. So if you can pass your certification exam, this means that you know the fundamentals of how to code. You should be able to be dropped anywhere and pick it up after reading over the guidelines and things like that, and maybe looking over some documentation and maybe getting 1 or 2 questions answered. But when it comes to just how to code, basically how to code, they're going to expect you to already know how to do that. So get ready. If that's your question, just get ready, okay? Because it's the reality. You are a certified medical coder. You are in the real world. You will learn things and you will learn new things and you will get more detailed after a while, but they are going to expect you to know how to code the second you walk in the door. Okay, they will train you on like their systems, like for their electronic medical record. They will train you on their coding software. But for the fundamentals of evaluation and management coding, procedure coding, diagnosis coding, that's on you. You should already know how to do that. And sometimes you have more knowledge than you give yourself credit for. A lot of coders go through that. They have a lot more knowledge than they think. Okay? Because of the simple fact that it's just their first job and they're freaked out and they're just wondering if they're going to do a good job. You are going to do a good job. You have to have confidence in yourself. And I talked about that the other day too. You have to have confidence in your abilities to be able to do things, because that's half the battle right there. The other half is your actual practical knowledge. If you start doubting yourself, then everything's going to start snowballing. You can't doubt yourself. You have to be firm in the fact that you got this. And a lot of times when you're answering a question, like whether it's on a coding test or even coding it itself, the first thought that comes to your mind, you know that's going to be the right answer. And so many times if you sit there and you go back and forth, and you're like, oh, is this right? Is this not right? Is this right? Is this not? And half the time, you're right the first time anyway. So always learn to trust your gut instinct, okay? Trust your gut instinct about what code selections you're doing, okay? That's huge. It's going to save you time and energy. If that's what you think about it first, that's what it's going to be. Just go for it that way, okay? So, and the last question is, which is better, online or in the classroom? to learn medical coding. That's going to be on you. It's however you decide to learn. If you do it online, right, and you're doing it from home and you're studying and things like that, you have to be disciplined, okay? Because there's not going to be somebody there to make sure that you're paying attention or to ask, okay? A lot of times if you're learning online, you're just going to maybe be in a messenger box where you can ask questions and things like that. If you need to be in a classroom because, you're just better if somebody's explaining it to you, you have to be honest with yourself in how you best learn. I can't answer that question other than to ask another question to you. How do you best learn? Are you disciplined enough to learn by just reading, just reading and going through word problems and things like that? If you can do that, then yeah, sure, go online. But if you need to be in a classroom with somebody to explain it to you, then be honest with yourself in that too. Okay, that's pretty much all you can do. But yes, look into those things. I will link the video about what school that I recommend. I did that video a few weeks ago actually. And I will go ahead and link it up here so that way you guys can watch that one as well if you haven't had a chance to see it. And just go from there. Do your research and do what is best for you, okay? If you're feeling pressure, this is one other thing. If you're feeling pressure from the recruiter, pay attention to that, okay? Your gut is going to be able to tell you as well, oh, I don't know if this is a good idea on this school, okay? That's what I did with the schools that I went to. I had to go to 3. I had to go to 3 different schools to see which one I wanted to pick. The first 2 schools were just talking about money right out of the gate. That was all they were pushing, was the money. And I knew that wasn't for me. And then the school that I did pick, she didn't talk about money right away. She talked about the curriculum and what was I going to learn and what credential was I going to be able to sit for. That's when I knew that's the one that I want. So I didn't know nothing about the associations. And I remember her asking me, well, do you know about AHIMA or AAPC? And I'm like, these acronyms I have no idea what they are. I have no idea what this is. And so she took the time to explain it. But she talked about that. And then, she mentioned the money part, but it was like literally almost in passing. So that's something that you guys need to pay attention to, okay? Because you're not going to want to get into this for the money. Because if you're just after the money and you don't really look at all the other stuff that goes involved in it, like the reading, the learning, the communicating, it's going to be a big shock for you when you get out in the real world and you have to actually do this. Yes, it's a good paying job. We make very good money, but we have to work for that money. Always remember that. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up because I got long-winded. But that's it for this one. I am going to be doing the breakdown of the evaluation management tool. I know I've been talking about it, but I am going to do it probably tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and start on that. So that way you guys can know that that's what we're going to work on. That breakdown of the table of risk box was a request, and I am going to honor it. So I'm just letting you guys know to be on the lookout for that one. I know a lot of people have questions about evaluation and management. It's okay. That's my favorite topic. One of my favorite topics to talk about is evaluation and management, because once you start picking up the little things, it'll get easier for you, okay? But don't look at it like it's a huge, huge challenge, because it's workable, okay? All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. But if you are a medical coder, a medical coding student, somebody curious about the fascinating world of medical coding, a provider or a nurse, I invite you to like and subscribe and follow me on my journey in medical coding. And if you like this video and it helped you, hit a thumbs up, please. All right. I will see y'all on the next video. Bye.